Welcome to this official video tutorial of the Tigers on the Hunt game, the turn-based World War II tactical level wargame simulation that covers battles on Eastern, Western and Mediterranean fronts. In this video tutorial we are going to focus on infantry fire and movement. The fire mechanics can be divided into two parts: the attacker's fire attack and the defender's fire attack. The attacker can fire in the fire segment and in the advancing fire segment, while the defender can fire during the attacker's movement segment as a kind of reaction fire to moving units and during the defensive fire segment. Let's start firing with a SingleInfanta unit. First, select the unit on the map. The hex selected will have a yellow outlining, and then you select the unit in the unit control panel to the bottom left. With the unit selected, you right-click on the target hex. The fire will automatically be resolved, and you will see the result to the bottom right in the action log window. Let's do it again. Choose the unit on the map. It will have the yellow outlining. Select the unit in the unit control panel. Right-click on the target hex. The fire will be automatically resolved, and you will see the result to the bottom right in the action log window. Let's take a look at two useful tools that can be very helpful in the game. The first one is the line of sight tool. You can toggle it on and off in the menu icon up in the top left, and if you select a unit, you'll see the units that unit can see in its line of sight with a red outlining in the hexes. The other tool is the fire range tool. It can also be toggled on and off, and if we select the unit in the unit control panel, you see white dots. The white dots is the fire range of that unit. If you want to fire with two or more units from the same hex against target hex, you simply select them all in the unit control panel before you make the right click on the target hex. Like this. Select the hex, select the units. You need to have Control push down on the keyboard before you choose several units, and then you right click on the target hex. And the action will be resolved automatically. A leader present in the firing unit or unit hex will be able to direct fire and thereby improve the quality of the attack. Some leaders do better than others, and this is reflected by the stars on the leader marker. The more stars, the better the leader. We choose the hex that wants to fire. We select the squad and the leader, and don't forget to hold the control key pressed on the keyboard when you're selecting multiple units. Right click on the target hex, and the leader will have directed the fire. This can be seen in the unit control panel. Let's bring in some machine guns into the action as well. Machine guns can be fired alone or together with infantry. Select the hex where you have the machine gun. Select the machine gun in the unit control panel and right click on the target hex. If you're firing with infantry units, you select those as well, like this. Select the hex with the machine gun and the infantry units. Select the units, squad, machine gun, leader in this case, and right click on the target hex. And you will have a combined attack, and you'll see the result down in the action log window. There are more weapons infantry units can use, for instance light anti-tank weapons. They can fire upon vehicles and upon buildings. In these games there are anti-tank rifles, German Panzerschrecks and Panzerfaust, British Piats, Russian Molotov projectors and American bazookas. When you want to fire a light anti-tank weapon, you select the hex where the weapon is located. You select a weapon manned by an infantry, and with the fire range tool in use, you can see how far the weapon can reach. The big white dots show the fire range, and as you can see, there is no big white dot on the Stormgeschütz 42. If you right click on that as a target, we'll get a pop-up window saying it is out of range. The maximum range is 4 hexes. If we, on the other hand, right click on the Stormgeschütz 3G, it will fire up on that vehicle. The closer to the vehicle the weapon is, the better chance of a hit and a kill there will be. Another support weapon is the flamethrower. It is used very much in the same way as a machine gun, but has a couple of differences. It has a maximum range of 2 hexes, and the firepower is halved at the 2 hex distance. The flamethrower can also fire at full firepower at 1 hex distance in advancing fire segment. Choose the hex where the flamethrower is located. Select the flamethrower in the unit control panel and right-click on the target hex. You see the result in the action log window to the bottom right. There is another weapon that can be used by infantry units, that is the light field mortar. You select the hex with the mortar in, you select the mortar within the unit control panel, and then you right-click on your target. Got a pop-up window that asks what kind of ammunition you're using. This kind mortar always uses indirect fire, that is called area fire. The text will be attacked and the result will be shown in the action log window to the bottom right. Now let's continue with the movement mechanics. You can move units when you're the attacker and only in the movement segment and in the advanced segment. When you want to move a unit, you select the unit in the hex is located and you will get the yellow outlining. You then select a unit in the unit control panel and you will get adjacent hexes that has white outlining. Those are the hexes that you can move to. You right click on the hex you want to move to and the unit will move. When the unit runs out of moving points, you get a red outlining. Those are the last hexes you can move to. So you can right click on the red outline hex as well. The moved unit will get a darker color so you can see which units you have moved and units you haven't moved. Some terrain is harder to move through and you won't get as far in those terrains. For instance, like the grain here in the bottom right. If I select a unit, select it in the unit control panel and then I move, we'll get the red outlining quicker, as I can't move any further. You can move several units from a hex simultaneously by selecting them together in the unit control panel. Select a hex and then select the units in the unit control panel by holding the control button down and pressing the left key on the mouse. You then right click and the units will move together. A leader will aid the units they are stacked together with during the whole movement segment. They will reach further by doing that. As you can see, I'm reaching a bit further. I didn't get the red outline because I used all my moving points moving to the grain hex. It is wise to use terrain as cover when you move within line of sight and fire range of enemy units. This will give you some cover and better your odds to survive in your movement segment. There are 3 types of movements that you can do with an infantry unit. If you select a unit, you see to the right in the segment and turn panel, there are 3 action buttons here: move, assault, and double time. Those make the units move in different ways. Move is the normal movement where the units move in normal way. If I select a unit in the unit control panel and move the units, you can see that it can move a number of hexes. That is limited by the movement points that unit has. If I select a different unit and I select assault, this is a more cautious way of movement and you only move 1 hex, which is indicated by the red outlining on the adjacent hexes. So I move this unit 1 hex using assault, and it is more protected against the defensive fire. If I want to move fast, I can select a unit. I select the action double time, then I select a unit and I move away, right clicking on the white outline hexes. And you can see that I made it further, even through more difficult terrain. So there are 3 kinds of movement. ordinary move, assault move, a more cautious way, and double time where you are moving fast. You will also get more tired and have a penalty for moving in the next fire turn. There is one weapon that is used in combination with movement, that is a demolition charge. It is placed in a movement segment and explodes in an advancing fire segment, if the placed unit survives the defensive fire against it. It is done like this. Select the hex with demolition charge, select unit, and move adjacent. In the turn and segment panel to the right, you select the action button demolition charge, and then select the demolition charge in the unit control panel and right click on the target. Then in the advancing fire segment it will explode. You can see the result in the action log window down below. That is all this time. You're welcome to check out some of our other video tutorials on our YouTube channel, but for now I bid you farewell.